Hi, boys and girls.
We're at our garage and test facility. Let's open the magic button. Let's see what we've got in here. A 2019 Toyota Highlander. Looks pretty nice. And since it's a hybrid, looks pretty expensive too. Let's do a walk around to get a better look. Looks pretty good to me. We also tested some other hybrids lately. This Lexus UX250H about 4 days ago. We also did a complete test on this 2019 Lexus NX300H hybrid 4 months ago. We'll have a link for that video and the video on the UX coming up at the end of this video. Just go to the end, click and watch. Giving you 3 vehicles for the price of 1, which is still free. There are many engines available in the Highlander lineup. A 4-cylinder 2.7 liter putting out 185 horsepower that very few people care about. A 3.5 V6 putting out 295 horsepower. Ooh, what's that noise? Car's making funny noise. And last but not least, this 3.5 liter hybrid putting out a total of 306 horsepower with all the electric motors, generators, batteries, etc. The V6 gasoline version, which I've driven previously, is rated 21 mpg in the city, 27 on the highway, and 23 overall. By comparison, this hybrid is rated 29 in the city, 27 on the highway, and 28 overall. We'll be showing you the real-world figures coming up real quick. The starting fee for the 4-cylinder runs around $33,000. This is the hybrid limited model. That means it has just about everything standard. Supposedly no options. All this stuff is standard. This explains the $48,630 starting price tag. But I just knew they were going to add an option. They just couldn't help themselves. You guessed it, charging extra for carpeted floor mats. $264. Why do they do this? Come on, it's a $50,000 vehicle and you're charging extra for floor mats. Come on. So, shipping, 50 grand. I've been driving this for a while. I was getting 27 mpg in mixed commuting. Because of the cooler weather, averaging around 28. Not bad, really. But how much fuel are we really saving? Because the hybrid system adds around 3 to 4 grand to the price tag, approximately. They won't tell you exactly. So I did some math. In the V6 gasoline hybrid I drove not long ago, I was getting 18 in the city, 25 on the freeway, and 21 overall. You compare that to the 28 overall I'm getting on this and drive 50,000 miles. That's around $7,200 versus $5,500. I figure in 50,000 miles you save $1,600 in fuel costs, which means you'd have to drive around 100,000 miles to break even. On the other hand, if you do city driving figures, 18 to 27 mpg, you'd save around $2,600 in fuel and around 60,000 miles. But if you do a lot of driving on the freeway, and if you do, you really don't need a hybrid because they don't do that well, numbers-wise. Compare the 25 mpg to the 28 I'm getting right now. We'll be taking a real highway test in a couple of days. We'll get the real figure. These are estimates. If you're only saving 2-3 mpg, it would take you about 150,000 plus miles to pay for itself. So the more city driving you're doing, the more you're going to save. The more freeway driving, the less. We'll be taking this out tomorrow on the freeway and doing some off-roading. Hey, it's all-wheel drive. Electric motor in the front, electric motor in the rear. So yeah, we're going to take it off-roading. That's what SUVs are for. But first, we're going to take out these headlights. See how they perform in the dark. They look pretty fancy. Well, it's dark enough. Let's see how these headlights work. Uh-oh. We got a full moon. That means all the weirdos are going to be out. Here we have the low beams only building 100 feet away. Very bright. Go to high beam. Extra bright. Here we have the brights only building 300 feet away. Not the strongest light I've ever seen, but good widespread, good height. I can see the kitty cat eyes reflecting. There he is. Watching me. Now I'll go low beam. Well, it's about 250 feet. So here's a cool feature. You're in the parking lot. You unlock the car with your key fob. And now everybody in the parking lot will know you're driving a Highlander because it says so right here. What will they think of next? Looking inside the cabin, other YouTube testers claim this holds 8 people, but let's see, 2 bucket seats in the front, 2 nice buckets in the second row, and from where I'm looking, 2 more in the third row, unless you're fitting monkeys in. For this vehicle, we're talking 6. 7 if you got little kids. This is very nice leather, by the way. I'm very impressed. Naturally, the third rows fold down for more cargo room. And down under there is a spare tire, unusual on a hybrid, but necessary, especially if you go off-road. Unfortunately, like pickup trucks, the tire is located under the vehicle. If you get it flat, you're going to have to crawl under there and get dirty. Not too much to complain about on the inside here. An extra large glove box, even more so if you take out that thick owner's manual. Stick it somewhere else. Decent sized screen. Very easy to use the climate controls. If you like heated or air conditioned seats, buttons right here. Lots of room in the center console. A well-designed gauge cluster, lots of useful information in between the gauges. The only negative thing, the typical Toyota plastic cover that reflects sun at certain angles. Not today because it's cloudy. They need to do away with these. That goes for their Lexus models too. Alright, first half of the video show and tell is over. We'll go out and do some driving. I like this camera system, 360 degrees all around. See what else this does. Entertaining. Toyota and Lexus vehicles have the best power steering systems around. They can do it, the Germans can't. That good Japanese engineering wins again. As we do in all my videos, we're going to take some mild speed bumps, or humps as you want to call them, at 20 miles per hour, see how the suspension performs on impact. So let's get to it. Here comes bump number 1. Pretty smooth, didn't feel a thing. Number 2. Number 3. And the treacherous, nasty one coming up. Heard that one, felt it was pretty mild. No complaints. Even though this hybrid puts out more horsepower than the non-hybrid, it also has a lot more weight. I believe 350 pounds extra is what I was told. But the electric power does give lots of bottom end torque in city driving. It feels a lot more lively. By the way, there is an eco mode button, which I never use in hybrids. We'll be driving in standard mode. So let's do a 0 to 60. Yeah, I can feel the thrust of the electric system right in the seat of your pants. More than adequate acceleration, I'm not complaining. Very smooth and quiet too. Perfect brakes. In my line of work, I can drive just about any type and brand of vehicle I want. When I'm doing a lot of city commuting and chores, something like a Toyota Highlander is my first pick. It's easy to get in, easy to get out, lots of storage room for hauling stuff, quiet, comfortable. This is something I drive every day with no hassles at all. Something you can't say about some of the more exotic vehicles. This is very, very practical. I can see why they sell so many. We're going to take a highway trip, see what type of fuel economy we get, although I'm pretty sure it's going to run around 27 to 28 mpg. These other Highlander hybrids I've driven have done. But you never know. Well, there you go, 27.8 mpg, pretty much what I figured. We're going to do some four-wheeling, got to stop by the ranch house and get some supplies. I really got to fix that roof someday. I'm the only guy in the neighborhood that has a sunroof on his garage as well as this vehicle. The Toyota Highlander can be taken off-road. It definitely has the ground clearance. That includes the hybrid. In fact, since the hybrid has all-wheel drive, not a strong one, but still, 4 wheels, turning the traction probably a little bit better, especially in mild sand like we're doing now. Just keep in mind you're not driving a heavy-duty pickup truck or a Jeep. You're driving basically what is a car. So it's for light-duty recreational off-roading only. Our ranch patrol duties are done. Time to go back into town and wrap up this video. And then we'll make another one. So what's my take on the Highlander after a week of driving? Well, the basic Highlander series itself is very reliable, easy to drive, no flaws to mention. Toyota's done a good job of debugging and deflawing this entire lineup. No complaints from me. As far as the hybrid version of the Highlander, it depends on what type of driving you do. If you do a lot of freeway driving, the fuel economy savings over the non-hybrid version won't be much, if any. On the other hand, if you do a lot of city driving, the fuel economy savings will be quite generous. The difference I have between 18 mpg in the non-hybrid and around 27 to 28 on this hybrid. Around 50,000 miles, I suspect it would pay for itself. And for those of you who subscribe to my videos, been watching a while, you know I'm not a big fan of hybrid vehicles, but this is definitely one of the better ones. Overall, I give this vehicle a total thumbs up, and here are some links to other hybrids we've driven. Just click and watch.